Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hockey Night in Canada's online post-game show from the Honda Centre in Anaheim, streaming live on the net on the heels of a 2-1 victory by the Canucks in double OT. That pulls the Canucks into a 1-1 tie in this conference semifinal. A markedly different effort by Vancouver tonight relative to game number one, when frankly it looked like they were overmatched. But all those people who said after game one the Canucks had no chance in this series may have to rethink their position. Let's have a look at the goals tonight, and we begin in the second period. Marcus Naslund hadn't scored in 7 games in these playoffs. He opened the scoring in this game. Turnover by Chris Pronger. Naslund, as he was falling, put it high over J.S. Giguère. 1-0 Canucks. Roberto Luongo, always a threat to deliver the Canucks to a 1-goal victory. Ducks got the tying marker when Sammy Paulson took it from Naslund, fed Solani. Travis Moan following up, scored on the rebound. 1-1 after a scoreless third on to OT, 2 of them in fact, and Jeff Cowan will bank it in off J.S. Giguère from an impossible angle. Linden got the puck to Cowan. This would not be a set goal, and the Anaheim crowd didn't appreciate the beauty of it. No lingerie thrown on the ice tonight, but that goal was scored at 7:49 of the second OT. 2-1 Vancouver, and the series stands now at 1-1. A split in Anaheim seemed ever so unlikely after game one of this series. So 2-1 the final. Naslund and Cowan scoring for the Canucks. Luongo with 43 saves. J.S. Giguère also strong in goal for the Ducks, to be sure. Canucks opened the scoring for the second straight game tonight. Luongo and Giguère both brilliant in goal. Canucks' third OT win in the 07 playoffs. Last one of these online post-game shows we did, I fed Jim and Harry a line, and they kind of left me hanging. They said something like, I don't get it. So no joking around tonight, folks. We're all business as I give you 2 of the very best in the history of broadcasting, Jim Hewson and Harry Neal.
I got your Bra-Barian joke, though, and I guess you could say tonight Jeff won the cup. Terrific goal for Jeff Cowan. We shouldn't have been surprised. You know, the 4-overtime game in game number 1 against Dallas, in the overtime, I thought Cowan was one of the best players.
Well, often funny heroes are created in overtime, and goats are manufactured, and Cowan gets the one, and Giguère would like to have that shot over again.
Yeah, I bet he would. Some performances tonight that I think were notable came off the Vancouver defense. Without Kevin Bieksa, without Sammy Salo, there's some guys who really stepped up, played some big minutes. Lucas Krajicek is one of them.
Absolutely. It's his best game of the playoffs, that's for sure, and he had more responsibility thrown at him, and he handled it very nicely.
Rory Fitzpatrick, another. And how about young Alex Edler?
Yes, absolutely. It would be pretty tough to think that this is his second game in the National Hockey League at the playoffs. And Sopel had a great night. A lot of blocked shots, a lot of ice time, and a lot of gutsy play.
And he probably ended up playing close to 40 minutes. This means series on, doesn't it? I mean, this was a huge win for Vancouver for a couple of reasons. There were a lot of people that thought that they weren't even in this series, and to play as well as they did and then to lose it would have been a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, absolutely. They now have home ice advantage. They may get a chance to get their injured players back, have to play at least one more game, if not more. And they got to be riding home tonight in that charter, feeling pretty good about themselves.
And the next game is up on Sunday, so a little rest as they get back at it in game number 3 as we head back for Vancouver. Brian Smolinski was another of the Vancouver performers in this game that is now with our Scott Oak.
Brian, I guess the question is, how often do you practice play like that? Ever?
Yeah, well, we just talked about once a year. Yeah, and, great for Cowboy. He's been working hard, and it's good to see him get rewarded.
Alain Vigneault said yesterday that any games you guys win in this series is going to be 1-0, 2-1. That was the case tonight. Would you call this, aside from the fact that it went to double overtime, a typical Canuck effort and that you limited their chances, played tight defense?
Oh, exactly. You know, we took it on the chin the other night, and you know, no excuses. We got beat, and you know, we knew we were going to have to limit their power plays. They got a great power play, and we did. And as long as we kept ourselves in there, Roberto was fantastic again tonight. And, just fortunate to get the win.
You know, after that 5-1 loss, there was an air of negativity around the team, not certainly among the players, but, I mean, stories that were written about that game were full of phrases like, it doesn't matter what the Canucks do, they'll lose this series. Were you guys motivated by any of that? Was any of that bulletin board material for you?
Well, you know, in the back of our minds it is. You know, they got us losing, whether it's 4 or 5, and, you know, we don't care. We know what we got in this room, To get a split here is a great feat for us. That's what we wanted. Now we move on to Sunday.
Yeah, when you lose a game like you did 5-1 in the first one, the absences of players like Salo and Bieksa are duly noted. But we should also note you won without them tonight. So what point did you prove?
Yeah, we proved a great point that we can play with anybody as long as we do our job. And sometimes we're our own worst enemy out there. We played a very good game tonight without some key players, and that just speaks volumes for us.
Thanks, Brian.
My pleasure.
Our next telecast in the Stanley Cup playoffs tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Senators and Devils in Game 2 with Ottawa leading that series 1-0. Game 3 in the Canucks-Duck series Sunday night at GM Place. It's a 5 o'clock Pacific start, 8 ET. That's our online post-game show. Thanks for joining us. Stand by now for the coaches' press conferences.
Well, it's one of those things. Sometimes you shoot the puck at the net and good things happen. It was a break that they got, and we'll move on. We played, I thought a pretty exciting type of hockey game. I didn't think we were as good early, but we started to get our game going, and we started to play more of the style probably after the first period. That is more to our historically, I guess would be the best word to describe it. Yeah, we had some chances, and I think we can do a better job of screening, and we do a better job of getting inside on a couple of situations. But made some big stops, but so did our guy. It was a goaltender's battle, and it was one of those hockey games that you're always looking at, and lots of positives to take out of it. I thought for the first period, I thought we were. I didn't think that in the second. I thought in the third we started to get our game going. We drew some penalties because of our ability to get inside and our speed and whatnot. So, yeah, but we had some quality chances. I think we could have made a couple better decisions with the puck, but that's the way the game goes. These are tight hockey games. The games are played like tonight are lots of physical play in it, back and forth. That's it.
Guys, we gotta go home. Well, we were aware and we talked yesterday that, we hadn't put our best foot forward in the first game. Obviously they had played really well, but we knew that we could play better. And, there was a lot of talk that we were overmatched. They were a much better team than we were. It seemed that after that first game, the series was already over with. So all we wanted to do was to put a good, solid game on the ice, and that's what we did, and we're able to win another overtime game. We know that against this team, if we're going to be successful, we have to keep it close. We don't score a lot of goals, and we're always been very good in low-scoring, tight games, and that's what we did tonight. I don't know. Our guys have just all year long, we've really played well when the game's been on the line. Players understand that every time they're on the ice, they can dictate the outcome of the game one way or the other, and they seem to be able to, go the extra mile and do those things that can make a difference. I think really our guys really got fired up by everything that was being said about the big bad Ducks and how they were going to stomp all over us, and nobody gave us a chance because we had a depleted lineup. I mean, those that have followed us all year long knows that this group is a very competitive group. On paper, maybe the other teams are, maybe they're better than we are, but we compete hard, and we played 4 lines tonight. We played 6 Ds. We had a couple young kids in there, and we tried our best, and we were able to get it done in overtime. Now we're going to try and get ready for Sunday. Well, there's a lot of things about tonight's game that Dave and I are going to deal with the league. There were a lot of things that I didn't like on the ice tonight, and I'm not going to share that with you. I'm going to share that with the league. That's the professional and proper way to do things. Well, Willie had a bad skate, so we're looking for another skate. That's the flu-like skate syndrome. That's what it was.
What do you guys do tonight to neutralize the speed of this line?
We just talked about, especially when that line's on the ice, making better decisions through the neutral zone. But, those guys are... they've got so much skill and speed there that they're going to get chances. They had some great chances, but, you guys all saw Roberto play tonight. Again, he was a really solid performer for us, and he gives us a lot of confidence.
Roberto's playing well, Leslie.
Yep.
Can you see how he gets in the heads of opposing players? He makes the kind of saves when guys start talking to each other themselves.
Well, he's done that all year for us, especially since Christmas, so I don't pay attention to it anymore. I'm used to it. Thanks, guys.